Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you, and thanks for checking out the channel. Miami Heat Camp's going to be here before you know it. Got Media Day coming up on Monday. Then they head to the Bahamas for a week. They got the scrimmage coming up October 7th. Be boots on the ground for that one. Then they head to Charlotte for a playoff game, for a preseason game. Jesus. It's preseason for me, too. And then they will have their first preseason game. I think they had 3 straight. What is it? Total of 5. And then we get going on October 23rd against the Orlando Magic. You made it. Best month ever here, October, as Heat basketball is on the horizon. And looks like a lot of the team got in there has been in the lab for an early workout. Yesterday, the Miami Heat tweeted out. Now, I don't know if these pictures are all from the same day. I'm assuming that they are, but I don't know. I don't know that for sure. I can't say. I can't say if it's from the week. I can't say when they are from. But there is a cool collage of photos that the Miami Heat posted on their socials. And they posted Haywood Highsmith and Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware-Duncan. Man, I'm really excited to see what this kid brings to the table, man. I am excited to see what Khalil brings, what he's got, what this team's going to be like together. I cannot wait to see what the first round pick brings to the table. Very excited for it. Very, very excited for it. Duncan Robinson looking lean and mean. The Dunkyard Dog back from the back injury at the workout. Scary Terry Rozier just cleared for 5-on-5 contact was there. Then you got Pella Larson. He's got that Pat Riley hair. Really, he's got that like the Superman thing going down. Swedish Swish is ready to roll. You got Kevin Love working with Caron Butler. Kevin Love has left his GQ magazine. Listen, that guy has a beautiful Instagram. It really does. Like his family looks. Kevin Love family, that thing, they are such a good looking bunch. They look like they could be in the frames that you buy at Kohl's. Is anybody doing that anymore? Do people even put up pictures at their house? I'm always like way behind on it. It's like a big thing with me and my wife. Be like, yeah, we got all these pictures. We got to print them out. And we usually do like a once a year printout for everything, and then do photo albums and whatnot. I took a bunch of photos down, and as you guys can see, my background is bland as hell, although it will be more up to date. I would say by next week we will finish the boring stuff in here, and then we'll get to the fun stuff of actually setting this studio up the way that it's meant to be. But yeah, you go to Kohl's, they have that picturesque family. That's Kevin Love's Instagram. That is Kevin Love's Instagram. Anyway, he's in the gym working out with CB. They got Josh Christopher slamming. They got Drew Smith, who has cut the locks. He has cut the long hair. He is all business. I'm rooting for Drew Smith. I have taken up the campaign of being behind the Drew Smith fan club because I feel like Heat Nation has been a bunch of bullies to Drew Smith. I'm talking to you, frog boy. You know what you did. And now he's got that all business look to himself, got a little bit of an attitude to him. He also is going to get, it's like the Duncan Robinson transformation. That's Drew Smith going into this training camp. Alec Burks getting some work in. TB, Thomas Bryant there. They got Keyshawn Johnson with the banners behind him. That's pretty goosies. So everybody, by my count, pretty much everybody was there in these photos. They had Bam, Khalil, Pella, TB, Haywood Highsmith was in it. I don't know if I mentioned him. Kevin Love, Duncan Robinson, Keyshawn, Terry, Drew. So the only ones I don't see in these photos of note, Jimmy Butler, who is, I think, in France right now, dressed like a nun. Tyler Hero, who has been in the facility, of course. So you've seen plenty of him working out at the facility. Jaime Jaquez, you've also seen pictures of him at the facility. I believe he's doing something in LA this weekend. I think he's doing like an appearance or something like that. And I did not see Nasir Little in these photos. But yeah, we're winding down to it, man. We are getting to the nitty gritty of it, which is exciting. I cannot wait to get this puppy rolling. And, things that, you just off the bat, just from player standpoint that you want to see, rolling down these lists of guys, I'm not even like looking at stats or whatnot, but just kind of eyeballing it. I would say if you look at Bam, the one thing I want from Bam this year, I want more 3-point attempts. And that's like, if I'm just going like wish list on guys, Bam, for him, 3-point attempts. Kalel, one of them's playing time, obviously. I don't want to do on this list. I don't want to do, play games. Like, that's kind of obvious. But I would say with Bam, 3-point attempts. Kalel, PT, and then as his coach Mike Woodson told us in our interview, if you guys haven't seen that, check that out. I'm just a little bit worried about the free throw attempts, because not the free throw attempts, but the free throw percentage. That is something Coach Woodson brought up as a concern, and I do think that guy is going to draw some fouls. Pella, I can't really finger point anything on Pella. I'm just kind of excited to see him play, so that's all with really him. Thomas Bryant, just be, I guess, reliable if he's in there. That's, not just lighting it up when it's blowout time. Like, if you could actually give Bam a breather at times. I'm not sure how much Thomas Bryant we're going to get this year, but, it may be early on. If you go by Spo's track record, we might get a little bit of TB early on, because he is a veteran and, Kalel's young. So we'll see how much Spo is going to trust him. Haywood Highsmith, I think the answer is there obvious. Like, Haywood Highsmith just having the confidence continue to shoot threes, and the continued growth of his arsenal. I think we saw a lot of growth from him offensively last year. A lot of the times when the Heat, man, sometimes it'd be games where like Haywood Highsmith was like the only guy with the balls to go take a shot. And we know how tremendous he is defensively. I mean, on ball, outside of Bam, you probably say he's numero uno, maybe Jimmy. Kevin Love. What do you want more from Kevin Love this year? If I had to say any improvement from Kevin Love, I don't want to say like unrealistic things like, oh man, it'd be great if Kevin Love doesn't get played off the floor defensively. I mean, you got to be realistic about this stuff. I don't know. I think Kevin Love out of everybody who fits their role perfectly, I think Kevin Love's about as good as there is when it comes to that. So more jokey jokes in the media. He's funny. Funny guy. Duncan Robinson, just continue to be an assassin. Like, that's what I think that was the great thing about his growth last year. Even more of a repertoire. And then just, his light should be neon green with how good of a mother bleeping shooter he is. And I hope that he gets off to a good start. Keshad, rookie, don't really have anything on the list for him. Just find a role. Same thing with Josh Christopher. Alec Burks, confidence to shoot, confidence to fit into his role immediately, to confidence to not feel like he's stepping on toes. And I'd say the same for Terry. Terry Rozier, feel like you felt right before Tyler came back last year, before the neck thing. I thought that we had a comfortable Terry Rozier. Be that guy off the bat. Like, that's what I wanted from Scary Terry. Drew Smith, block out the noise. That's what I would say for him. I'm getting a little intangibly here instead of just actual basketball stuff. But, I'm going off a lot of guys who did not play a ton. So there's a lot of a clean slate with them. And then for the guys who aren't there, for Jimmy Butler, continue to attack the basket. And I think that's going to be a fascinating thing. Is the free throw rate still going to be there? Are we seeing a steady decline? Is the way the basketball got officiated the second half of last year, is it an age thing? So I'm going to keep like a monitor on that free throw, because Jimmy does like to play a physical style. And I'm going to be curious at his age, is he going to still be that guy attacking wise on it? Tyler, man, mine for him is, I think, obviously getting to the rim more. I want to see a Tyler hero. People make a lot about his free throws. His 3-point attempts. His 3-point attempts are pretty high, and he shot nearly 40% the last couple of years. Yeah, maybe one more a year. Like, if Tyler Hero could replace one midi with one more three, if they could swap that, I think he'd be like at a perfect. You'd be like right there amongst the league leaders because I think the league leaders in 3-point attempts last year was Steph, Clay, and so Tyler was at about 8 last year, 8 attempts a game. Your leaders last year in 3-point attempts, that would have put him about. He was about top 10 in attempts last year, if he qualified for games. But your leaders in free throw in 3-pointers attempting last year: Van Vliet 8 a game, Bogdanovich 8, a little over 8, Maxey a little over 8, Tatum a little over 8, CJ McCollum 8.4, Dame 8.5, DiVincenzo 8.7, Clay 9, Luka 10.6, and Steph Curry 11.8. Obviously, Tyler's not going to get Luka and Doncic type volume, but I think if he could get to the 9-ish, if he could flirt with 9, that's probably like the sweet spot for him. If you could quibble with both, the blatant place where he doesn't produce nearly enough points is the free throw line. And that to me is the bigger leap that needs to be made, more so than the 3-point attempts. I think the 3-point attempts is a pretty easy fix because he's already taken a lot of threes. It's not like he's taking 3. I think people act sometimes like Tyler Hero takes 4 3-pointers a game. But the free throws, that is needing to play through contact and getting that whistle and being an effective scorer, still a big thing. With Jaime, this to him goes to, can he be an effective 3-point shooter for sure? That to me is, very, very clearly the big key that unlocks a lot for Jaime. That's the big, big question mark with him. So looking forward to it, man. We're right there on the eve of Heat camp. I did see, by the way, little basketball news. You guys had to hear me slurp that. ASMR for you. Zach Lowe got let go by ESPN. And I know that Zach Lowe made a bunch of money. They said that Zach Lowe was making, 7 figures, but, some of the salaries that they throw out at ESPN, like he was amongst my favorite basketball people to listen to. Big fan of the Low Post podcast. Reasonable, but also I thought entertaining. And I don't really get this from ESPN. Maybe more details will come out that he wanted out, or maybe he's got another opportunity. They're obviously going into a big time change of coverage because with Woj leaving, now Zach Lowe gone. Maybe this means more Brian Windhorst, I guess. There's a lot of buzz that they're going to go throw the bag at Shams. But I just thought that Zach Lowe brought something different. I really, really enjoy him. And the thing that I like about Zach Lowe really, really cares about every team, or tries to, Obviously, everybody's got to talk about those, bastards in Boston and the Lakers and things. But that dude will actually make an attempt to talk about your team every once in a while on a national podcast. And I was disappointed. That he's not going to be with ESPN. I'm not crying because the most coverage I'd say I have was his podcast, and I'm sure that's going to go wherever he ends up going, The Ringer, Yahoo, NBC, whomever. He's obviously going to get hired and get a lot of money for it. And the number one thing is his podcast. I'm sure that feed's going to probably say the same. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just, what are they going to do? Am I getting more of the true hoop guys? Am I getting I don't know. Am I getting more Kendrick Perkins in our life? I just don't know what they're doing. And, this is the type of thing that I think drives people the holy hell away from them. And I thought this was a guy who really, while I didn't always agree with him, I thought that he would always give recently, he was given the Heat's rotation and legitimately kind of dove into pretty much everybody. And I think always was definitely a guy who gave respect and a nod to the Heat organization. So I'm bummed that ESPN decided that. The only thing that could really make it better is if they crank up their Udonis Haslem this upcoming season, because he's tremendous. He's obviously a Stephen A. Smith favorite. That's going to pull a lot of weight. They are going in, they have kind of their unholy trinity of takers of McAfee and Greeny and Stephen A. Smith. Those are their guys. Those are their ponies, and they kind of just throw them all over the place with a mix of like College Game Day in there and their football guys, but I liked what Lowe was bringing to the table. So it was kind of a bummer to see that was the direction they're going in. But, for somebody of his ilk, it's he's going to be fine. He's going to land on his feet, I'm sure, shortly, and he'll be somewhere for the basketball season. It is kind of rotten though to do that like right before the basketball season. I'm not sure. He just did just dropped a podcast. I think it was one of those like, oh man, I was legit stunned that was the decision they made, especially like right on the doorstep of basketball. So I'm sure he'll land on his feet quickly, and I'm sure we'll have some place to get his coverage for the season. But yeah, bummer decision by ESPN.